Oh my Biubiu.
Hey, and this was also buffed this patch, and actually a lot of pro players are spamming this champion right now. The ultimate got added more shots, and the Q damage got buffed.
The funny thing is, both solo laners play this as well, but seeing Biubiu take it, one of the best solo killers in the LPL this split, is going to give GimGoon a run for his money.
I'm just so interested to see how V5 plays, because so both of their side lanes win and they have a stronger jungle matchup, but you can't cover both sides of the map at the same time. So are we going to put our focus around bot lane, which is typically what you want with Caitlyn Lux to set up this artillery composition? That's the phrase I've coined many times, because you need the setup, you want to get the traps down, you want the vision, you just want to take plates and roam around the map, or are you going to set the Lucian up to snowball?
A lot of options, but a lot of questions that'll be coming forward into game number 4. To see this reminds me of people like the Shy, right? That top laner that's confident to take the matchup. And Biubiu has been that type of top laner this split.
It's just crazy to me that we're putting Biubiu like in that same category, where we're in a world where Biubiu is picking up the Lucian, and sure, he's picked up some carries, he's had some Kale games, he's had a Silas, but he's mostly been on Renekton, Ornn, Wukong, and Mordekaiser, so this is a big shift for Biubiu, and also a big shift for the team in general.
V5, can they pull it off? Still on match point, even though FPX picked up game 3. FPX have to run this in the reverse sweep. GimGoon on his favorite, and Biubiu on what could be a devastating lane matchup. As we run into game 4, get ready.
FunPlus 加油
Biubiu 加油
The Jayos roll in as we roll on to game number 4 and onto Summoner's Rift. Ladies and gentlemen, FPX picked up game number 3, and the series must pick its winner. But the literal world champions back still against the wall. It is V5 who've shown the most momentum in this series so far. As we enter Summoner's Rift, I want you all to look at V5's jungler and the rune he has opted in for.
Yeah, it's quite surprising, and I'm actually going to say that I expect Weiwei to want to play out, in these early skirmishes, being able to benefit off that movement speed, really get on top of carries like LWX, especially when you're going to have the shielding and speed up coming out from Doinb.
Yep.
But, going earlier than that, I kind of expect him to play a bit more around top early on.
Okay.
Just for the fact that with Lucian, you really need to take these aggressive trades, so, GP can't just back up, benefit off of his rune tree, the, second wind, heal back up. You're going to have the grasp as well. You have the orange, so you pretty much need to be constantly keeping your foot on the gas as the Lucian in the matchup, so maybe we'll see on his second clear, Weiwei gives some attention towards topside, even just some vision to make sure Biubiu can play aggressively.
Good dredge line in the bottom lane, and speak of the devil, coming down for a level 2 gank. ppgod has to flash away. This is getting heavy-handed as LWX gets the Ren Sendy, turns around. Gets a bit of damage in the trade, but Summoner's burned.
Hey, Crisp has just been warming up this whole time. He was waiting for game 3, 4, and 5. So
when they drop their guard.
Exactly, they find the all-in. I'm going to pause, because Weiwei's here.
And this is an Olaf with red buff. Onto Tian. Undertow just needs to connect, but it will be a smite battle. Secured by Weiwei. Now he has double buffs. Tian flashes away. Undertow connects, and he wants to take him with Phase Rush. Gets the movement speed. Ignite's still there. Flashing forward, Mole, and the flash over as V5 get first blood. But it's 3 versus 3 with the Kalista. Scatter the Weak was beautiful, and LWX drops down. A double kill for Caitlyn. And V5, if you want to match them, you got to go toe-to-toe.
And once again, it comes through mid-jungle. Weiwei having the confidence going. He realized, hey, I have the red buff. I'm an Olaf. I can fight aggressively. Mole following up on the fight, flashes in, hits a great scatter of the week, and there we go. V5 with 2 kills early on to Sam. These Caitlyn, these sieges, they're going to be looking beautiful.
I mean, the Caitlyn lane itself is going to be feeling even better.
Red buff on Sam D. Like, what can you do as LWX? His range is like 10 times yours.
And the wave's building up too. FPX eventually going to have to move into range of Sam D, who still has it back. So, gold lead to start off the game for V5 in the form of 1,000 at 3 minutes in. And you love to see skirmishes like that, as Tian now wants something top.
And, I mean, this is expected. Biubiu, there's no choice for Biubiu. He needs to push in this matchup, so giving Tian a potential gank. Remember, Biubiu does have E, so if he does blow that, maybe that's the trigger for Tian to go.
GimGoon gets low. Could be the perfect bait in as Biubiu hits level 4. Doesn't get the double shot. Hex Flash comes on over. Flash might need to be burnt, waiting for the face breaker. Comes on in. Biubiu then presses E out instead under the turret. Dodges away from the true damage. Double shot there. Biubiu burns him down. That was so nicely done.
The patience on the E was so beautiful, like you talked about, and playing it exceptionally well. And now we're highlighting those buffs coming out, but ooh, Mole's
doing some damage.
and Mole's playing aggressive. But yeah, as we are being shown, Lucian was buffed on this patch. I feel like that Q buff is also very noticeable. The ultimate getting more shots feels great as well. And like I said, you can go check out your favorite pro players right now. Chances in a lot of them are trying out this Lucian.
You can see why the outplay potential is definitely there. As Biubiu walks away, he teleports back in, brings the longsword into the matchup and the Doran's play.
He also just has so many good matchups in top and mid. Yeah. So, you know, slots so well into both of those roles, especially for teams that do like playing around top side, which is funny because V5 isn't that team. But hey, it counters GP, so it gets the job done.
It's so annoying when you're setting up barrels early and you got 2 shots left remaining on it, and he just double taps it and down it goes. Also note that while we see the action top side, while we see the kills on the bottom side, V5 have been maintaining this gold lead. What do you see?
We have Tian on Syndra. Huh.
Innovators, huh?
I'm going to say, honestly, I can't say it's something I really see or something we've seen too often here in the LPL. Actually, it's not something we've seen at all here in the LPL.
That's different.
Yeah.
But it is Mole, your 4th tiered mid laner in the LPL.
Yeah, so clearly going to be going towards the Sarah.
Tian is 2 levels behind. Look at the CS difference between junglers. Weiwei's been farming, Tian has been trying to gank, and that topside gank put him behind by quite a lot.
This also goes to highlight that me and you were having this conversation earlier in the day. For me, Weiwei's the best jungler in playoffs. Tian's the worst. I think Tian is coming in with the worst form of any jungler. He's really struggled this split. He's honestly been probably the one struggling the most of any FPX member this split, and it's showing.
When he was the world's MVP.
Yeah.
You know, the Young Miracles jungler hyped up.
He was the best player on this team last year. Him and Chris were the ones doing work, and him and Chris were the ones who largely fallen flat.
We had a graphic before that highlighted the 3 core of FPX, and Tian, for the first time ever, was not on it.
No. And it was very strange, right? When we were having the meeting talking about who belongs on that graphic. Keeping Tian out was strange, but here we go. This is what we set up earlier on. Caitlyn and Luck's going to have this consistent pressure in lane, even more so that Caitlyn's 2-0 and had a red buff, but you know, let's ignore that. Okay. Going to set up for these dragons for Weiwei, and V5 starting the snowball early on, which, you know, their comp's going to scale quite fine anyway.
Oh, Caitlyn coming through, GimGoon in a bit of trouble. Easy solo kill when you see the GP in lane.
And again, what's happened to Biubiu? Like, I'm going to be very frank right now. Biubiu was probably the worst top laner we had in spring.
Yep.
Biubiu on Suning was a mess. He got... I need to bring up the Janna Maokai story again. He got solo killed as Janna against the Maokai. That's not how that works.
No,
like, that should not happen. But in summer, he's looked amazing. He's looked great on the Renekton, has played the weak side role great, looks amazing in team fights. But having moments like this, he gets the counter matchup, and he's not falling flat.
And after we just saw GimGoon playing the Jax into Biubiu's Mordekaiser, this is a bit of revenge as well.
They pissed him off. He's angry.
He's very angry. Level 7, the highest experience advantage in the game. Doinb has a bit of the same as he pushes up this mid turret, and he picked up a kill earlier plus a CS lead over Mole. But still, Biubiu is going to be an issue as he already picks up the Cutlass in this lane. And we haven't seen any turret plating yet, but expect that to be dropping the longer this lane goes on for the Lucian.
And especially now, right? Because the wave is going to bounce back for Lucian. He's going to have the Cutlass, going to have the slow coming out from that. So if GimGoon overextends in lane could just equal out to another solo Q for Biubiu, and yeah, hits everything. And look, this wave is building into him, so he could put GimGoon in a position he doesn't want to be in.
GimGoon wearing his world skin as well. Might be a bit embarrassing the way this is going, but a very hard matchup being shown well by Biubiu. 20 CS lead as we talked about, and because of this, the Herald might be the next port of call for Weiwei on this Olaf.
Yeah, it does look like it, and we see Mole heading over now as well.
Tian in trouble. Also note, CS lead through the jungle is still there. It's almost double for Weiwei. So, as he starts up this Herald, might not be too afraid with FPX on the horizon.
Yeah, and this is going to equal out to an easy objective. We even see SamD and ppgod are almost here to where LWX is still recalling in the bottom side.
Yep.
So, V5 looking convincing with a comp that we question them being able to play.
Yeah. Comp that so far is excelling in so many different ways. The blue buff stolen away. Weiwei gets both objectives at the same time. And now there's a Herald to play through as well. This is back to the V5 we saw earlier in the series, where there was a lot of confidence. But even more so, this is their most confident game, because in the other early games, there were a couple of mistakes, but they bounced back.
Well, this one also goes to show, right? They have a lot of confidence playing through their mechanical skill in the bottom half of the map, with Mole, with SamD, with ppgod. Game 3, the game they lost when they fell behind trying to play and outplay the top side, which, you know, didn't work.
Here we go again. Culling's going to come through. This time GimGoon says, I have flash, I'm going to use it, and forces him out of lane once more.
And this is what we said, right? We saw that the wave was getting pushed into Biubiu, and he'd be able to abuse that long lane against the Gangplank. He finds the window. He does it beautifully. Now I want to see where Weiwei drops this Herald, because, again, if they do want to drop it bot and start unlocking the Caitlyn, it's something I could understand.
Chris getting out of there with the dredge line. Also note, Cannon Barrage is available, but topside, Biubiu is pushing in with another full wave, so I'm curious, for the Herald or for top? It seems like the play is to clear out top and deny more turret plating.
I mean, GimGoon has to do this.
He'll be cutting around nicely through mid, meanwhile. But you're right, GimGoon to save the integrity of his turret and drop that ulti. But meanwhile, bottom side, the pressure will continue, and Weiwei sticking around.
Doinb still looking to be the aggressor. And again, Karma, very strong laning champion. I don't expect any solo kills to come out from a Karma, but would take a very massive, overconfident misstep from Mole to make that happen.
Definitely would. With Chris flashing forward, speak of confidence, the dredge line that sets up all. And ppgod too far forward, and Fate's Call will follow through onto SamD and Weiwei, who Ragnarok straight away, but this is a fed Olaf, who wants to turn it around onto Tian. Dodges away from the Haymaker, shield as Mole. Peek's in, Doinb already here. There's a TP almost up for Biubiu and GimGoon. If this continues forward, Mole will get locked on down. The Olaf sends in through, flashes away. Mole gets out of there, but so does SamD. And FPX forced quite a lot out of that one.
Great by FPX to start this off, right? Because we have this engage all-in bot duo of Kalista and Nautilus up against this poke, very fragile Caitlyn Lux. They find the hook they need. They get the kill. Then it was going all over the place when they hooked Weiwei, and Weiwei turned around and said, "Hey guys,
let's go.
I'll one before you."
True.
It was a bit interesting, but ultimately FPX find one pick. But I'm going to believe that V5 should be able to pick up this dragon where it looks like they're turning to now.
Looks like Mole stuck around after pushing out the wave. And Lyric, while this dragon goes on, I want you to talk to me a little bit about FPX's win conditions again, how this comes together, even with V5's early lead. Do I have time? No, because SamD is going to get brush ganked by LWX. He's walking in, thinking about it, and there's the Halo Blaze Kalista with Rend available. SamD now calling in the help of his friend, sends out the Peacemaker, auto attacks, wins the shielding. SamD doesn't die, and Chris now in the middle of it all. V5 are the Brotherhood as they send out the ult to Tian, flushes forward from Weiwei. They do not back down, and apparently, they do not die.
And ppgod comes in so clutch with the shield to keep his AD carry alive. They take Dragon, they drop Herald. They're going to start snowballing this gold lead as well.
And Biubiu's here to make Doinb suffer. Chilling Smite to slow down as the turret will be swept under the rug. V5 are making the impossible a reality. As Mole goes to the top side, Scout of the Week forces the orange. But FPX are now in a gold deficit of 3,000 at 12 minutes in the game.
The thing that amazes me is how easy V5 are making this look in so many different play styles. It's not like they just drafted the same or a similar comp every game.
Yeah.
They've played a different comp every single game of this series, and it looks good.
I mean, we got the Biubiu Lucian top is so evident of that. Let's have a look again, though, because I thought SamD was dead.
And this also comes down to the item advantage that SamD does have at this point. How to BF sword, how to pickaxe, has a dagger as well. Oh, goes in the brush, gets out of sight. A bit unlucky for LWX, comes out ahead. We talked about ppgod got here in time though, threw out the clutch shields, and that's how V5 pulled ahead.
And the Guardian and the W.
Exactly.
Really mounted up.
And you're also running Shield Breaker, you're also running Revitalize, so you're getting a lot of value out of Lux's kit.
And after that, he picked up a kill, while GimGoon, meanwhile, getting bullied around by Mole a little bit in the solo lane. Turret plating's going down, but V5 have a lot more to take.
Poor GimGoon.
I mean, GimGoon set up on his favorite champion, but he's against Lucian.
Biubiu kicks him around. Mole's having to go at him. Weiwei's here.
What do you think of Phase Rush Olaf so far? He's been very fast.
Yes. It's been, and this is a rune that I just love. I love how people have like slowly realized that it's one of the runes that's useful at all points in game. It can be used offensively and defensively, and that's why we see it used by pretty much everyone. Sure, we saw some buffs come out to it on melee champions, but that typically isn't relevant. I guess it is relevant right now,
I guess
but
yeah.
has just been a nice evolution of the understanding of League of Legends.
I guess the way I always saw it was if you can add 2 extra auto attacks of damage, it's worth the damage you get from Conqueror anyway with the movement speed. I guess that's me trying to be a 6-head.
Also, to highlight, Mole has finished his Seraph's Embrace, which again, he's going to have a bunch more mana. He's going to have that shield to come out, and it should scale better, especially as you start picking up potentially other mana items as well.
Not only V5 adapting comps, adapting builds as well.
Yeah, it is quite interesting. But, and again, I don't even think V5's comp necessarily gets outscaled by what FPX have picked up. Sure, they have a GP. There's this Karma who's going to buff up the Kalista, but the Syndra's not going to fall off at any point in the game. Caitlyn Lux is going to be hitting like a truck at all points. It's just about, can they keep the range? Can they play from a distance?
Chris is too far forward. In comes the double AD carry. Fate's Call used. Will it go onto the offensive? FPX have the option, but disengagement scout of the week. Hits Tian. Shield from Doinb will give a bit of sustain and, more importantly, a bit of help. ppgod sends out the light finding. It doesn't connect, but you can see what they're fighting over.
Yep, another Herald.
And V5 are going to start this off. Doinb is repositioning to get around to this pit.
Ooh, they're feeling a bit pressured. We don't actually have any of the setup coming out from the Caitlyn yet, so we don't really see any traps put out and them trying to abuse that zone control.
Tether onto Weiwei, doesn't connect, he walks out of range. Now that FPX are all here, the Smite Bite is going to come through with a level advantage. That's so easy for Weiwei. Remember how far up he is on Tian. V5 get it, and now they have mid priority.
Yeah, and now they can just zone them out and take this turret easily. LWX is even showing top lane, so right now V5 have no fear.
There's the Herald, Hex Flash over the wall. He'll get out, but FPX might even have to look at giving up the inner turret. Cannon Barrage slows down the play until Shelly butts ahead.
And next Dragon's up in 45 seconds, so V5 potentially can get off some quick resets right now and just go contest that one.
So you're telling me before you don't necessarily think FPX even outscale?
No, I think this is going to come to a battle if V5 can play the vision game, if V5 can play the range game, because you look at their comp, right? There's no one who can really face check vision, so they always need to like go to the lane first, get that push, get the wards down, and set up for the objective. Okay. If LWX and Crips can't find that engage, then I think they win every single time. Like, they don't really have a massive front line. Sett's going to be tanky like way later on, so is Chris, but V5 definitely have the damage to deal with it.
Also, I feel like Infernal Soul influences quite a lot in this game, especially when you talk about Syndra, Caitlyn, Lux.
And at the same time, their comp doesn't actually have a ton of burst or DPS. Like, the Karma obviously going to transition to much more of a utility pick to set up LWX. And sure, GimGoon will be able to burst targets down, but their whole comp completely outranges your barrel chain combo.
True. And you get tagged with one bit of CC, you're dead. FPX moving into River, disjointed though because Doinb's on the back end. Sorry, GimGoon on the back of the pit. This leads to Infernal Soul. GimGoon aiming for his setup, is hitting away. Smite will go down, it's killed by Weiwei. Tian runs on in, wants the engage. There's Sandy, not the target though. Onto Weiwei, who just Ragnaroks out, and Tian's just dead. Mole on the side, forces the flash from Chris. And V5, if you want to give it all, they'll take it all. Another kill, and Sol Point coming up.
Great zoning coming from Mole. Beautiful flashes out of Sam D and Biubiu. They keep FPX at arm's length, and we see their comp has the burst, their comp has the damage. They feel comfortable playing this style. And as you said, now they are on Soul Point. They just need to wait 4.5 minutes, and we are going to get that Infernal Soul for V5. And let's once again mention, this is Victory 5's first playoffs ever. This team, which to be fair wasn't really this team, went 0-16 in spring. Mole the only man remaining from that roster.
But Mole stuck it through,
you know? Mole's played all 5 roles this year.
Yeah, he has.
Because he played jungle in the LPL Scrim League and played the other 4 in LPL.
Remember, he played bot, he played support in spring especially. Top lane he flexed between as well.
He played top like as well this year, so yeah, he's played everything this year. This man does it all.
And you saw in the very last series, I think it was against Rogue Warriors, he actually played Kennen top. He swapped the matchup.
And I don't know if anyone knows, but that's actually a throwback to last year.
Yeah.
He played Kennen top, and he absolutely smashed Rogue Warriors. Had a really nice highlight play out of it, too, where he like 1v3s or something.
He's now in the top lane, might have to deal with 1 versus 2. Walking into the brush, expects Doinb as the tether comes through, Scatter the Weak gets him away. Bit of damage down. Tian being zoned away by ppgod, his Unleashed Power may have done the job. Waiting for another Scatter the Weak, the light binding flashes and flashed away. Final spark misses, but Doinb kites it back. Now no summoners on the mid laner, and Mole forces it back.
It's okay. ppgod just got the flash out of Doinb, all according to plan, but, you know, Mole's never alone. We highlighted this is a 3-man core, potentially our most cohesive 3-man core in LPL.
Yeah.
That's why they're taking objectives around the map.
And 1 step away from quarterfinals of a 5K gold lead. In V5's favor at 19 minutes in the game, with Chris now being caught on out, the depth charge used. There's too much damage though, and Weiwei picks up his first kill of game number 4. Teleport being burned by V5 as a settle gets the damage onto V5, and ppgod left on out FPX with a favorable trade as V5 went too far.
And the thing to highlight was Doinb came in with a TP flank, which we didn't see, cuts them off. They're able to pick up those 2 kills, and they're keeping this game close. But hey, guess what? Biubiu's still winning off in the side lane. The thing I'm scared about now, though, is we're still seeing Mole stick up in top side. Biubiu's potentially walking into Tian, so there's still some aggressive lanes right now that FPX can potentially punish.
Can he kill him, though? Culling's going to come on out. Face breaker. Oh, sorry, the Haymaker shield. Biubiu kills him. Dodges from the dredge line, but the Rens. Was it worth it, Lyric? You're about to tell me.
No, it was not.
Okay.
He was 4-0. He had a bounty. It's not worth.
Not worth it. All right. Well, let's have a look at this play.
Yeah. So we see them aggressing onto Chris. I want to keep my eyes on the minimap because look, Doinb is coming in for that TP flank, cutting them off. We see Tian's already here as well. So 3v3, they have the burst right away onto the Caitlyn. We said, right, if FPX can ever close the distance right away and get this burst off onto Sam D and Mole, then they're looking good. The problem is just V5 have played around it so well thus far.
But at the very least, FPX getting picks means this game ain't over yet. This game is not over yet.
Yeah, no, it's not. And, you know, checking back up on items, we see Weiwei going for a Warmog. So, you know,
really.
all-inning on that tankier, more health-oriented Olaf. We see the Spellbinder coming out for Mole, so it's going to have a bit more burst once he picks up that item and, you know, can stack it all the way up. Essence Reaver on Biubiu, which, you know, on Lucian just feels great because of, you know, how much you're using your combos, how much mana you're using. So V5 right now, extremely strong.
Colonel still favoring them even after the couple of plays that came through. 75%. And now, of course, the percentages and everything, I talked to Clement about this a little bit, it's based on the statistics, like how many times this champion wins in this comp, etc., etc. So it really crunches the numbers to get us some of those. Now for Weiwei through mid, spots out Tian and Doinb. Mole ready for Scatter the Weak. We're looking at gold once again.
Biubiu is getting pressure in top side, so someone is going to be sent to answer him at some point. FPX can't keep this up, and now you can even just transition Biubiu to start rotating over for the Drake first, or he is TP. He's a split pusher. You can just keep him in side lane.
And remember, if FPX get caught out in rotation, one of them's going to die anyway. With Mole, this could be the example. Phase Call used with Unleashed Power. The Cannon Barrage in the backline. Doesn't get Scatter the Weak as Tian is running in, forces the flash out of Mole through mid lane. Final Spark onto Chris, who's jumping onto Sam D and dies. Is a big pick for FPX. Biubiu is now TP'd in. Sends out the culling, but Doinb only at half health, and V5 lose the fight. And FPX with 5 man are going to deny the soul if V5 can't get in.
Ooh.
ppgod gets poked down by Doinb, survives for now. Chris flashes on in though. Scatter of the Weak doesn't connect it. Eventually taken down will be ppgod with Tian's ult. Biubiu flies his way in himself, but the poke from FPX is massive. GimGoon in a comfortable spot. And now, with the Baron up, this could be their window.
Exactly. This is the clutch factor we know FPX for, that FPX are willing to look for these plays, but actually not having the confidence for once.
All right.
Which is strange. That's pretty much like the antithesis of FPX. Like, FPX will be the team no matter what. As we saw in an earlier game when they forced the Baron when they shouldn't have, that will always go for it. But we see here them looking for the engage, forcing out the flash right away. Sam D, of course, has no flash. Gets hooked by Chris, gets bursted down right away. We highlighted this comp has no front line. It's very hard to execute. It's about how they can pull it off. They weren't able to get on the objective first. And you pointed out there, really nice poke coming out from Doinb, and then they keep going forward. Maul having these Seraphs and Brave Shield to kind of fall back on. It's going to keep going, and I think he gets completely deleted by GimGoon. Yep, there it is.
Barrel chain set up. GimGoon with his first kill, and FPX closing that gold gap. We're at 2,000 and then some.
And once again, to highlight that Caitlyn's in the LPL do not go for that double BF sword build. We do not see, we see IE into rapid fire into...
Usually like another Zeal or something. QSS picked up there actually is the item 2.5. Sam D. And now...
Storm Razor, there we go.
Thank you. Now, we wait again.
Yeah. Now, we see FPX coming back onto the map, just answering waves. Ooh, V5 trying to set up a pick. Obviously, again, this comp has so much burst coming out from Scout of the Week into Mole's ultimate, the Lux ultimate as well.
Yeah, we're looking for a pick, but Scrying Orb spots them out. As Chris in for the dredge line, he goes into the back line. Depth charge sets it up nicely here as the ulti from GimGoon again sets up the 3-man knockup with a face call. But flash away meanwhile because Mole is keeping them all busy. Versus Fall, he runs into the fight, but too far forward as in goes Tian once again. Haymaker shield, great, but V5 pick him off as well. Biubiu survives into the head of the fight. 4 versus 4, FPX have the lower health bars, but the jungler available for V5 crucially.
Makes you wonder if they do go for it, because we need to remember Mole does have TP, so if they do want to try and start up a Baron play, doesn't look like it, but this would be a play where, hey, again, you force the Baron, you try to take it a bit slow, you bait the enemy team in, you have Mole who can TP, and Tian won't be able to answer. Tian has to walk across the map. There we go, V5.
All right, spotted out, though, very quickly by both Kalista and this Scrying Orb. Tian's going to come back alive, Baron stop. And that fight was very back and forth. It was a 1-for-1 trade, so we're no closer to finding out who wins this game.
And we're actually starting to see, hey, maybe, like, sure, damage in terms of scaling, it's not FPX favored, like we said, but just the ease for FPX to be able to get onto the members of V5. And that was actually a max range hook coming out from Crisp, so bravo to him. They get on the members. GimGoon now being forced out very early on. You highlighted Mole doing a great job zoning, but hey, he put himself in harm's way to do so. Tian flashing in to try and help guarantee that kill, which I actually feel like he would have been dead anyway, so not quite sure if we need to make that flash. Goes for it, we end up with the 1-for-1.
He's got this Wrath's Embrace, well, I can be aggressive. Not wrong. There's deep vision acquired here by V5 bottom side. Meanwhile, Biubiu's still pushing in the side lane. There is a big wave pushing against FPX.
Pings are coming out, though, onto Biubiu.
Okay. Can Tian find him? On the cusp of the range of this ward. X-Flash thinks against him.
Yep, so we see that, and now Doinb has to answer top wave, and right now both teams are going to trade side waves, you know, get a bit more gold, try to set up the map for this next Drake in 50 seconds.
Walking into the enemy's den. He hasn't
Doinb
pressed out Ardent Blaze either. They'll find him. Tian ults him. Away he goes, pulled in. Culling does nothing. And Biubiu made a boo-boo in front of Baron.
Yeah, and unfortunately tries to transition. Even took a pretty safe path, honestly, but FPX knowing they feel confident to force this fight.
Mole with TP waiting for the engage. Hex flash over the wall from Tian. Will be spotted out, in fact. 4 in the pit, trying to channel through. Mole's now finally here, has a good scout of the week, lands on top of 3. Cannon Barrage comes in, the final spark as well. Sam D all the way in the back, getting targeted with the face breaker, trying to kite his way out, still getting poked down. Shields are good, but not enough, as Mole deals with the rest of the team. Doinb takes him down, and Weiwei wants to get out. Doinb has the movement speed, though, wants his way forward. But FPX with another fight win now to deny the Infernal Soul once again.
And it just turns out it's just too easy for FPX. Between the Karma, the Kalista, the Nautilus, and the Sett, it's just too easy for them to get onto the carries of V5. They don't have that way of playing from a range.
But here's Biubiu once again. LWX is super low. Takes the Blast Cone. Has the Flash of Bale onto LWX. Gets the kill. In for the Infernal Soul. Secured by Doinb. But now Biubiu in a hunting ground. Right in the middle of the pit. GimGoon's next for the triple. ppgod on the side. Culling's there. Light Binding dodged away from. And even though FPX get the Dragon, Biubiu now at 7 kills.
It still feels worth for FPX, though. You're denying Soul, and as we see, as the game progresses, it just looks harder and harder for V5's comp to execute. They are looking for a Hail Mary, and this is it.
Yep. Biubiu a lot of damage here with 2.5 items. Going to be spotted out by Chris, though, as ppgod is low. Sandy hitting him from over the wall. Mole is not moving in. They're going to stop it. All right.
Yeah, they're going to take this one a bit slower, but I feel like we just need to keep highlighting, right? Each fight we see looks more and more FPX favored from the ways they're finding these picks, from the ways they're finding these engages. And sure, that one was a bit of a cheekier one, but we even saw here, V5 are pulled in, and it's just so easy for FPX to run them. You see a Mantra E coming out from Doinb, Crisp having all the hooks in the world available to him. They even have the Kalista ult they can fall back on. The burst almost comes down, but Crisp is just too tanky. Tian finds his way in the backline, once again off of a cheeky flank, so you know, props to him, but all the members of V5 are just so squishy, they get bursted down so easily. And that's how FPX are winning out consistently in these fights.
And Doinb doesn't die. Once again, almost 100% kill participation with 10 out of 13 kills.
Also, it seems like Mole is realizing, hey, you know, they do have beefier targets, they do have more HP we need to burn through, is starting to make his way towards that Leandries.
Yeah. He'll be close to finishing that up, while Doinb will have the rabbit on soon, but V5 starting the Baron. GimGoon's down bottom, but has TP.
They do it so fast. And Olaf, Caitlyn, and Lucian.
And FPX aren't here. Cannon Barrage going to come down, but the smite there taken away, and FPX have lost the Baron with V5 acquiring. Now, for the play, GimGoon is TP'd up the top side, but Biubiu's here. Down he goes, 4 versus 5. They're going to try and flash forward and end this one as the Undertow connects. The Ragnarok Olaf still available. Channels it through as Chris, his bait's called away. The light binding followed with the final spark. Undertow again. LWX slowed down. Sam D flashes over the wall. LWX getting low. Manages to survive for now while Tian at half health himself. They heal for it. And LWX will go down 2.
And when it looks like FPX can finally bring the game back, GimGoon is the one who makes a critical mistake, TPing right into Biubiu as you highlighted, which then let V5 know, hey, we have a 5v4, let's force this, now get 2 picks, and they can potentially force an inhibitor.
They've got the Baron, they've got a massive minion wave here, versus 5 with a double 80 carry. Inhibitor will be broken, and V5 have an edge.
Oh my god, they're just going to go for the end. They have Caitlyn, she's extremely strong, double 80 carry.
15 seconds though, 5 versus 4 until LWX comes on up, live binding connects so with the final spark. They're on to Tian, damage with the Haymaker, but he flashes away. V5 are too low with the Baron buff and the minions pushing in. They say no, LWX is coming up.
Yep, so now we're looking forward to Dragon. We have just under 2 minutes for that one.
Place in the hole. Oh, Biubiu's here. Gets away, wants the blue buff. There's no ward here. Autos, and takes it as he makes his escape.
And kind of looking at it from both sides, right? So the great thing for V5 is now you have this guaranteed cryo coming in the mid lane to get vision for the Drake, but at the same time for FPX you get guaranteed gold funneling into your carries. They're going to move over to give TPing right into numerous members of V5. But like I said, now at least for FPX, right, you have some guaranteed gold kind of funneling into the mid lane to help you get closer to your items. So I don't feel like losing mid inhib is a massive loss for them.
True.
It is an annoyance. V5 obviously get more gold in their pockets. And like I said, they now will consistently have mid lane pressure, so will translate into easier vision.
Plus that Infernal Soul you mentioned too in a minute for V5 could be almost guaranteed. But bottom side with the Baron buff in a turret that Doinb is forced to defend right now. Sam D with his range will be able to help take this down very quickly. And V5 now on the edge of another inhibitor. Mole's backing away to TP in.
Yes. Also interesting to note that we see Sam D went for the Phantom Dancer, so we'll have that lifeline passive now, so hopefully can survive the initial burst.
GimGoon actually spotted out. Biubiu again for the flank. Culling comes through over the wall. A lot of poke from V5, and that'll force GimGoon back. Now for the inhibitor pressure.
And this is the artillery that we talk about, right? Getting Caitlyn set up in front of a turret to drop all those traps.
They got the Baron buff. They're channeling through the bottom side. They're going to start hitting the Nexus turrets with the Cannon Barrage. As Scatter the Weak to disengage Weiwei. Left on an island here, Mole flashes away, but unleashes his power all over GimGoon while Biubiu flashes into the fight. Tian comes in. Face Breaker doesn't connect, so only onto 1, and it's not enough. LWX being channeled by Biubiu as Chris is at half health. Weiwei getting low, but Scatter the Weak again. FPX are dead. Long hail the new kings, apparently, because in 2020, their name is V5, and we go to their church to bless them into the quarterfinals.
And 2020 summer is the split of the